Sim Update 5 for Microsoft Flight Simulator comes with a bunch of new improvements. These include, amongst many other things, skis and floats for a number of existing planes, part of what Microsoft are calling a Land Anywhere feature. There's also a new AI assist which will take pilots to cities, airports, landmarks and even fauna. So let's take a look. So thanks to Microsoft for giving me early access to this build of the sim. This is effectively Sim Update 5. I'm playing here on the Xbox Series X, but the same build will be available on PC as well as Xbox on the 27th of July. Now we can see the floats and the skis have been added to a number of aircraft here, a number of planes. This includes the Skyhawk or the Cessna 172, the one at the top we saw just a moment ago, as well as this plane as well. So 3 different planes have the floats and skis, and you can use these to land in the seas, in rivers, in lakes, or of course on snowy peaks. Now I jumped into Nassau. It's a wonderful area to explore, and of course I had left the preset for bad weather in from the previous video, but decided to go ahead and record a bit of footage here as bad weather in the Bahamas is especially notable. Gives for some pretty nice looking environments as well. Just look at this water body here. Now generally speaking, whilst everywhere looks fantastic, there are the odd few graphical glitches you can see down there on the bottom left. These are few and far between though, at least as far as I have noticed. At any rate, let's move away from this bad weather and put some slightly calmer skies here. I think I'll go with a few clouds. There we go. Now I'm going to go land in the ocean over there. And this is my first landing in a water body in a Cessna 172. I've done it many times in the Icon A5. I'm not expecting this to be too different overall, but you can see here I was tempted to go into the showcase camera, but needed to keep good control over the plane, so decided against it in the end. And the reason I wanted to get into the showcase camera is because the new landing effects that you get on the touchdown. You get a nice splashing effect coming off the floats. Same for when you land on runways. I think there's a smoking effect there. You noticed in the video yesterday, there's a nice splashing effect from a water spray on wet runways. You also get kick up from snow when you land on snowy areas. But at any rate, we come in here just slowing down. Touchdown perhaps a little bit too fast on this particular occasion, as you notice me bounce a little bit here. So just a case of pulling the nose up a little bit slower here. Maybe 45 would have been a little bit better, but overall not too bad. Unfortunately, I wasn't quite quick enough with the external camera here to give you a good visuals on the splashdown effect. So here is a second landing, just to give you a slightly better idea of what this actually looks like. Now moving on to a snowy area, I wanted to try a landing with some skis. This is a mountainous area in Russia. And no, I wasn't intending on landing on a mountainside here. There's a nice little valley down there to the right. I'm going to try and land down there, what looks to be next to a river. Coming into the valley then, I wanted to avoid a too steep slope, so I headed in from the west and went towards the end of the valley, did a full turn and just kind of landed near those houses down there that you can see on the right of the screen, just outside the cockpit. Now there may be something I'm misunderstanding here, but Jörg Newman spoke at the Xbox conference back at E3, and he spoke about a Land Anywhere feature. It was my understanding from that, and this may be a bad interpretation, but it was my understanding that the new AI assist would allow simmers to land anywhere under autopilot. You just simply select location and it would allow you to land there. It seems that's not the case if you want to land out in the wild, then you're still going to need to make a manual landing. But that's perhaps no bad thing. This is a flight simulator after all, so just a case of getting the practice in and you'll be good to go. And for those of you who are experienced simmers anyway, then it shouldn't be too much of an issue. Now I am using an Xbox controller here. I don't have a compatible HOTAS, but you know, it's really not too bad. Not quite as smooth as I would like, a little bit janky here and there, but overall not too bad. And yes, I think we probably would have lost a wing there had this been a real aircraft. And here's a look at the wheels and the skis. I tried to catch some of the snow being kicked up, but you know, white on white, it didn't show up all that much, but hopefully you can get a bit of a visual feel for that right there. So moving on to somewhere a little warmer, here we are in San Francisco, and yes, the weather's very, very nice, to be expected I guess. What I wanted to try out here was the new AI assist I mentioned just a moment ago. So whilst you're in the plane, you can simply go to the autopilot menu, which is available at the top of the screen. I'm using a keyboard and mouse here. I have my USB keyboard and mouse plugged in, and yes, autopilot is running there, and it seems to be running the engine. But I decided to leave that on just to see how the autopilot would handle it all. Sometimes the autopilot can do dumb things like crashing a plane straight into the ocean or into a cliffside. Let's see how it handles here. At any rate, go to Flight Assist. You can see right now we've got airports selected. This will go to locally available airports. We can do the same with cities. Just scroll through some of these. When you found something you like, it's just simply a case of selecting a destination. And what we're going to do is look at a landmark. Transamerica Pyramid is the one we're going to go towards. And you can see straight away this has an immediate effect as a plane starts banking towards our destination. It also brings up a little pin we can see there. This will give us a little label telling us about the destination, the landmark that we're actually heading towards. This is pulled from Bing Maps. There we go, the Transamerica Pyramid. When you arrive at the destination, the autopilot will do a simple flyover and then proceed to circle the area. Now at this point you can simply take back controls if you want, or alternatively you can enter in a new destination for the AI assist to take you to. Some of you may be wondering why Asobo and Microsoft have decided to add this feature into the sim, but basically it's all a part of the onboarding process when bringing the sim to consoles. The feature will also be available to the PC build as well. Basically, it's just to make the sim that much more welcoming to people who are not traditionally simmers. But you know what? I actually think it's a very nice feature, not just for new simmers, but for pretty much anyone who would like a bit of a tour around various areas. That then brings us to an end of this video. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls next time.